The Detroit Lions face, in my opinion, what is a must-win game in Week 3 against the Atlanta Falcons. Cannot drop 2 at home. Cannot do that. They are 9-3 in their last 12, but they're 1-1 this season. And we have a chance to win tomorrow, head to Green Bay, and put a staple on the division. We could come out of that game 3-1. But first, we got to defend home field. We got to do that first. One of the things that we lack, Brad Holmes did not do enough of, in my opinion, during the offseason and the draft, is make the defensive line better. Did not have an opportunity, or did we, to get anybody, really, any defensive tackle that was going to make a difference. Now you can say that none of them were available. None of them left their teams. That is true. Jeffrey Simmons, Deron Payne, Ed Oliver, Quinnen Williams, Chris Jones. They all stayed with their respective teams. I would like to know my coach tried to get somebody that was going to wreak havoc in the middle of the line. So what do? We don't make a move in free agency, and we draft somebody in the 3rd round by the name of Brodric Martin, who you and me both didn't know anything about. As a matter of fact, this is such a wonderful story. The guy didn't even know he was getting drafted. In the 3rd round, he's upstairs on the 6th floor getting some food somewhere, has to run downstairs to see himself get drafted. Why isn't he playing? Why isn't we haven't really heard anything about him? Now, we saw him in the preseason. He made a little bit of ruckus, but apparently not enough to even be active on game day. When is that going to happen, and why hasn't it happened? Well, according to the Detroit Free Press, here may be the reason why we haven't seen any of our 3rd round pick, Brodric Martin. It says, if you talk to anyone about Martin's progress since coming to Detroit, inevitably his pad level is among the first things mentioned. It's been a point of emphasis for the massive 6'5", 330-pounder, and there is a multifaceted approach to finding consistency in that area, which includes a daily stretching routine to maintain and improve hip and lower back flexibility, combined with a cardio component that allows him to stay low through the duration of the game. The final piece to the puzzle is mental, according to Martin. It's a want to, and you have to think about every snap. Continuing on, to his credit, we've seen some growth from this guy. Position coach John Scott Jr. said he's continued to come on. We've talked about it, but it all starts with that. Man, in this league, you have to have great feet as a defensive lineman. You got to really be disciplined with your eyes. Now, we knew this guy was a project. We knew he was a project. When you looked at his draft report, his scouting report, we knew he was a project. We knew that he wasn't going to make an immediate impact. And continuing on here, sometimes you can get away with that on another level, but here you have to be good with your eyes, and pad level and strike are all important. That's just all the basic little things we work on. He's continued to make really good strides. We've been pleased with some of the things we've seen over the last couple weeks in practice. It's coming along. So it seems like he's making progress. He's making progress. Now, when we drafted this guy, I remember saying that if Brodric could turn into, during his rookie contract, a guy that demanded an extension, a big contract, that would be fantastic. Got him in the 3rd round. A lot of times, these players aren't even 1st round picks. They can be 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th rounders that really make an impact and demand attention during a 2nd or 3rd contract, right? But we are in such dire need of help up the middle. We're wondering, how long is this going to take? How much do we have to go through? How much does the quarterback have to eat us up? Now, our run defense is pretty good. We allow less than 90 yards a game. Wondering if that's going to change in week 3 against the Atlanta Falcons. But our run defense is pretty good. But Martin, how close is he to being able to be in there? Because we need him. That's a good question. But how does Brodric feel about not being in? He's talking about working every day against the offensive line, like Frank Ragnow, Taylor Decker, Panay Sewell. He says, working against them every day is helping me perfect my craft. Martin said, when my time comes, I'm pretty sure I'll be ready. He says, it's definitely helping me grow mentally. He said, It's just building up my hunger. Every time I'm inactive, when I get my chance, you'll see. And that's pretty big words coming from a big man, right? We saw that a lot with Isaiah Buggs about how he's been inactive the first 2 games and how he was driving himself harder and harder. And Brodric Martin is waiting for his opportunity. And I hope when he comes out, he doesn't disappoint. But the dude's been inactive for the first 2 games. From the defensive line coach, seems like he's not close. He's getting there. He's working his way up. I hope that we're coming up next Thursday, or this Thursday, however you look at it, on the 28th, the first quarter of the season will be over. 4 games will be down, right? We'll have 13 to go. Will our 3rd round pick be able to make an impact before we get to the halfway point of the season? I hope so, because we drafted him. We had some sort of expectation, right? He's got to be out there, but he'll get out there when he's ready. And I hope when he is out there, he makes a difference because we need it. We could use him tomorrow or week 3 against the Atlanta Falcons and their run attack, but maybe he can get some pressure on Desmond. And we don't know if he's inactive yet. We have no idea. We'll know that during the pregame tailgate tomorrow. With that being said, we have a pre-game tailgate tomorrow. We'll be at 11:30. This first week, I'm finally at home. So week 2 was the watch party at Uno's. Week 1, I was in Kansas City, as you know. And we will have a pre-game tailgate at 11:30. We will go on to 12, and then we'll get on for the live stream at home with the game sound, just like old times, at 12:30. If we do well enough and there's a demand, we might get on at 11 and stay on for an hour. It'll be just like the post-game show, but pre-game. Speaking of post-game show, we are back. We are back live with the post-game show. Our 3rd year, we're going to be doing phone calls for the first time this season. We're going to be bringing in the post-game show with Dan Campbell and Jared Goff and the rest of the players. And we're going to do like we usually do. That's going to kick off at about 4:15 tomorrow. So I'm excited to be at home. I'm excited to finally be back in the studio and kick it old school with you guys. It's been a great couple of weeks on the road and with the watch party. But now I'm back in my digs, man, ready to get this content out. So hopefully I'll see you tomorrow. And hopefully our Detroit Lions go into week 4 with a much needed win, in my opinion, about to face a division opponent. You guys are awesome. Take care of yourself and each other. And as always, go Lions.